Welcome to The Explainer. If you're an Australian creator, or even just thinking about it, you've probably asked yourself, how much money can I actually make? Well, today, we're cracking that code. We're going to break down the real numbers and show you why Australia is, seriously, one of the best places on earth to be a YouTuber. This is the big one, right? This is the question that really matters. Forget all the other stats for a second. We're talking about the actual money that hits your bank account. And you're about to see why having an Australian audience can make your channel one of the highest earning on the entire platform. So here's how we're going to do it. First, we'll tackle the big question itself. Then, we'll get into YouTube's money lingo so you know what's what. We'll look at the actual pay rates here in Australia, figure out what drives those numbers, and see it all come to life with a real-world example. And stick around, because at the end, we'll talk about making money way beyond just ads. Okay, let's just get right into the heart of it. You've seen it, I've seen it. One creator posts a video, gets 100,000 views and earns thousands of dollars. Another creator gets the same number of views and makes, well, basically pocket change. What is going on there? Right, before we can talk about any dollar figures, we gotta learn the language. There are a couple of key terms you absolutely need to understand, and trust me, they are not the same thing. Getting this right is crucial. Okay, look closely, because this is the most important distinction we're going to make. Over on the left, you've got CPM. Think of that as the sticker price. It's what an advertiser pays YouTube to show their ad 1,000 times. But on the right, you've got RPM. That's the one you need to care about. That is your actual take-home pay per 1,000 views. So to hammer this home, RPM is your reality. It's the money you get after YouTube takes its 45% cut and after you account for all the people who skip ads. From here on out, we're only going to talk about RPM because that's the number that actually pays the bills. All right, the moment you've been waiting for. Let's talk real money. What kind of RPM can a YouTuber with an Australian audience actually expect to get? Okay, let's pull back the curtain and look at what the data tells us. Based on what tons of creators are reporting, here's what you can realistically expect to earn down under. And wow, just look at that range. It is massive. Your average Aussie channel is pulling in somewhere between $5 and $12 for every 1,000 views. But check out the huge difference your topic makes. If you're talking finance or tech, you could be earning upwards of $25. Meanwhile, gaming channels might only see a couple of dollars. So why? Why that gigantic gap in pay? How can two channels with the exact same number of views have such wildly different paydays? Well, it all boils down to three key things. Okay, the number one most important factor by a long shot is where your viewers are. Advertisers will pay way more to reach people in countries like Australia, the US, or the UK. Why? Because they know we have more money to spend. After that, it comes down to what your channel is about and, of course, how long people actually watch your videos. I mean, just think about it logically, right? Who's going to advertise on a video about investing? You've got banks, financial advisors, tech companies. These guys have enormous marketing budgets, and they're willing to pay top dollar to reach you. That's what sends that RPM soaring. Now let's flip it. Think about a gaming channel. Yeah, the audience is huge, but the advertisers are often other mobile game companies with tiny budgets. You end up with way more competition for ad space from companies that don't have a lot to spend, and that just pushes the price right down. So all this theory is great, but what does it actually look like in practice? Let's take a look at a real-world example and put some hard numbers on these ideas. Okay, so meet Sarah. She's a hypothetical creator, but her situation is very real. Her channel is all about budgeting and personal finance, specifically for Australians. And this is key. 80% of her audience is right here in Australia. Now, let's say one of her videos does pretty well and hits 100,000 views. So, because she's in that super high-value finance niche and her viewers are mostly from a top-tier country, her RPM for that video came in at a very, very healthy $12.50 US. And now for the magic. You do the math, and that high RPM means her one video with 100,000 views earned her $1,250 US. That's nearly 2,000 Aussie dollars from just one video. Pretty amazing, right? And the lesson here couldn't be clearer. Sarah didn't need millions and millions of views to make good money. She just needed the right views. By focusing on the right topic for the right audience, she made her views count for so much more. But hold on, this might be the most important part of this whole thing. That AdSense money, that RPM we've been focused on,
That's just the start. That's the foundation you build on, not the whole house.
And you've got to understand the scale of this whole creator economy is absolutely massive. It contributes nearly $1 billion to the Australian economy every year. And that money is coming from a lot more than just the ads you see before a video. This is how the really successful creators do it. They don't just rely on ad revenue, they build a whole business. They're getting brand sponsorships, which can often pay way more than ads. They're using affiliate marketing, selling their own products or merch, and even getting direct support from their biggest fans. So here's the bottom line. You start by aiming for a high RPM. Pick the right niche, target the right audience. But for a creator like Sarah and for you, the real long-term goal is to build a dedicated, loyal community. Because it's that loyalty that opens the door to all these other, much bigger ways of making a living. So there you have it. It's a simple formula, really. A high-value audience plus a high-value niche equals a high RPM. That's how you build a strong financial foundation for your channel. The only question left is, what are you going to build on top of it? Thanks for watching.